Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time once again for some more Hive Beta Cup matches. This game we have Stan and Pals versus Winner's Ring, and this will be the very last game from the group stages. So the way it is looking now for this group, what do we got here? I was looking at some of the other groups. All right, so right now we are looking at, for Group 1, Stan and Pals has 4 wins and thus 4 points. And they are in second place, second only to P252, who has won all 5 games and not dropped a single one. So they are doing really, really well. Winner's Ring, on the other hand, is 2-1, offering them 2 points. So I believe if they win this match, they have the potential to... Actually, I don't know if these standings are updated, because it looks as though Winner's Ring has only played 3 games, but every other team on this list has either played 4 or 5. So unless Winner's Ring has had a reschedule and I'm not aware of it, then these stats are out of date. However, if they do have an extra win hidden somewhere that I don't know about, they have a potential to snag themselves a second place. Stan and Pals right now, it looks like they are going to be advancing through, but I'm not entirely sure, actually. Wait, is it just the top team from each bracket? No. Yeah, they don't show the brackets on the website yet. So, not sure if... I think it's going to be a round of 16 tomorrow. So, it will be 2 teams from each group, which means that Stan and Pals is in a position where if they win this game, they are guaranteed a spot in the round of 16. If they lose this game and somebody else got lucky somewhere, there may be a tie to determine. So we'll have to see, but yeah. Either way, getting into the game here, Winner's Ring, Stan and Pals, and Invoker, Timbersaw, and Batrider banned right off the bat. Now, Batrider's a kind of been a resurging ban here. A lot of people have been getting rid of him and opting not to play against the Batrider, and you know, I don't blame them. He's a nasty hero, but at the same time, he dropped out of the meta for so long that you know, he's not exactly popular anymore, and people have just been starting to ban him out because he's just, you know, a threat out of the fact that he can be picked. But that's about it. Anyway, Stan and Pals gets rid of the Ember Spirit as well. We saw that wreak havoc in our last game that we watched here, so I mean, pretty self-explanatory ban there. Well, we got a couple moments. I'd like to throw a thank you out to our sponsors, Gamebox. They're a awesome game communication service, kind of along the lines of Ventrilo or TeamSpeak. They just started up, and great company. Check them out. They got a lot of cool features in their program. So check them out at Gamebox.com. Thank them for sponsoring this tournament, because without them, it would not have happened. Always love to have those sponsor dollars back in a amateur tournament like this. It really means a lot to everybody on the amateur scene, and for all of us as well, providing the content as well. Hive, thank you guys for organizing this tournament. They were the backbone of the entire production. They got the teams together. They set up the website. They put up the Reddit posts, etc., etc. Got everything organized, and they're looking towards expanding their business to future tournaments. So keep up to date with them on Tactichive.com. Definitely great group of guys, and had the pleasure of being able to cast for them in both the Hive Alpha and Beta Cup. Now, while I was throwing out my thank yous here, we had a flurry of stuff happening all over the place. We have an Ancient Apparition and a Lifestealer picked up for Stan and Pals, and the Bristleback Shadow Shaman picked up for Winner's Ring. So this is something we see quite often nowadays, that if Bristleback is not banned, he's picked, because he is nasty as all hell. And especially with how much damage he does through magic immunity, he's going to be a huge prick in Stan and Pal's side, so they're going to have to watch out for that. Now, Storm Spirit, Clockwork, and Marana, +1 going to be the bans for this next stage here. And, you know, right now we're not looking at any really cohesive team compositions, nothing that's really telling of the ideas or the strategies going on, just kind of really strong heroes that both teams want to kind of build their board around. Now, I'm a little bit concerned about the Lifestealer pick, though, because picking Lifestealer this early leaves you open to a lot of his innate counters. And seeing as there is already a Bristleback on the field, I think, you know, they might be in... You know, Winner's Ring is in a good position to pick up a lot of heroes that this Lifestealer could, you know, could be shut down by. Potentially a Bane, getting picked up, maybe even a Razor or something like that if they really want to go the extra mile. Weaver, things like that can really, really stick a fork in Lifestealer. So they got that potential. We'll see if they do manage to do that. Now, Nyx Assassin is the next pickup for Standard Pals, so they got that kind of global gank ability. It's not really global, but he's sneaky enough that he can kind of be anywhere, and you never really know. So, Shadow Shaman going to have a rough time with that Nyx, I think. Unless he's really, really quick on the draw on his hexes, but that's not always the case. Winner's Ring now looking to make their third pickup. Dipping into the reserve time, about 30 seconds so far. We'll see what they choose to go for. They go for a Luna, so they got that hard carry on their side, and this is kind of just like an out-brawl the Lifestealer. You're not going for a direct counter to him. You're not really trying to shut him down in his essence. You're just trying to pick a hero that does pretty much the same stuff and hoping that you guys can do better. And I think with I think with the rest of their lineup, they're going to have a good opportunity to do that. Now, this is going to be another offlane Nyx. We saw that played a little bit earlier as well, but offlane Nyx. I've voiced my opinion on this before and have in every single game that I've seen it. I don't like it, but some teams will put it to good use, so we'll see if it does happen to be that this game. It will be the Ancient Apparition and the Storm Spirit supporting the... Storm Spirit? Where did I get Storm Spirit? Ancient Apparition and Sand King. Going to be supporting up that Lifestealer, and then Standard Pals will be looking for a mid laner next. So, pretty straight up lineups here, and I do like their tri-lane quite a bit. They could actually go really aggressive with this. Now, normally Ancient Apparition is not fantastic on aggressive tri-lanes. He does alright, but he thrives really well with EXP. I mean, the higher levels of Ice Blast you can get, the better. So, you know, it's a lot better if he's in a defensive lane where you can stack and pull and get some guaranteed XP. However, if you can make kills happen, which I believe this lineup can, then you have a lot more... then I mean, their levels just roll in by themselves. So I think... Standard Palace is going to have a great time if they go aggressive, but you know, they also have the potential to go defensive and just gank a lot as well. Now, the Naga Siren was picked up by Winner's Ring. That is a little bit of a counter to the Lifestealer as well, because her net will go through his magic immunity and hold him down in place, so it's a little bit harder for Lifestealer to charge after somebody if he's held in place by a fishing net. So Naga Siren and Shadow Shaman, two really defensive support. Well, actually, they can be offensive with a lot of damage, and I don't think Luna has enough damage. I think these are two supports that are great with something like a Gyrocopter, maybe even like a Sven, or you know, something else along those lines that just has a really heavy hitting auto attack and some control of their own. And that is not what Luna has. Instead, she's got a little bit of burst damage and then some mediocre auto attacks to begin the game. So instead, I believe Winner's Ring is going to be going for a defensive tri-lane and send that Bristle back to the offlane. Now, if Standard Pals does go aggressive, it'll be a 1v1 Bristle versus Nyx, which I do believe Bristle will win 90% of the time. And this aggressive tri-lane looks very nasty. I believe they could make quite a fight out of whatever they put in that lane. So I think right now the laning phase is in favor of Standard Pals. However, Winner's Ring has a really, really, really nasty mid-game. I mean, Song of the Siren, you get Serpent Wards down, you get Eclipse up on the Luna, especially if she gets a Black King Bar early enough, and the Bristleback just running around throwing quills and everything. I mean, you know, there is some potential for a really good turnaround by Standard Pals if they get an Epicenter into an Ice Blast, etc. However, they just don't quite have the same presence. They have to land everything. They have to get their skill shots off. They have to make sure Sand King goes uninterrupted in his channeling his ultimate. They have to make sure that the Ice Blast hits everything, and then Nyx is going to have to land Great Impales, etc., etc. So Winner's Ring is going to have a lot easier time making fights happen in the mid game, and I think carrying into late game they'll be just fine as well, because Bristleback gets really nasty late, and of course Luna, one of the hardest carries in the game. So Standard Pals, I'm a little bit worried about their draft. It'll come down to what they draft here, but I'd actually like to see another Magnus. We saw that played out in their game earlier today, and I think it would fare really, really well with their lineup here. They got the Sand King with the Epicenter, with the Burrow Strike, the Nyx Assassin with the Impale that can both feed into that RP, but they go for a Viper, so I'm not entirely keen on this. I'm not going to lie. I think they've got potential for great lanes, and they're going to do... I think they'll do okay. I think they'll win a tri-lane if they if they go aggressive. But I don't know. I think their lanes are just a little bit too weak to deal with this nasty mid game that is Winner's Ring team. But I can be proved wrong. We'll have to see as we get things going underway here. Now, for anybody watching out there, if you could please let me know in chat if there are any issues with the video quality. I've never streamed with 1080p before. I usually stream with 720, mainly because I don't think my internet was that good. But I just tried for this broadcast bumping it up to 1080, so hopefully you guys are seeing everything crystal clear and we're not having any lag issues or anything like that. But if there are, let me know and I can restart the stream and drop it back down so that things are running smoothly. I seem to be doing okay on my side. I'm not getting any lag or anything like that myself. So hopefully things are alright. But let me know in the chat. Anyways, getting to the last pick here. Winner's Ring taking their sweet time. They got 30 seconds left in their reserve time before a timeout, but I don't think that'll be the case. They are looking for a mid laner themselves then, unless the Shadow Shaman does happen to be it. But Silencer. Huh. I wonder if that's going to be a mid Silencer, if it's going to be a mid Shadow Shaman or a support Silencer. I think it'll be a sports Shadow Shaman, so I think Silencer will be mid hero here. But he trades pretty damn well with Viper, I'm not going to lie. I mean, Silencer, he's got the Glaives of Wisdom, which just dish out a crap ton of damage, and Viper can't quite get in close enough to Silencer to really make anything happen. So I think they've got a fantastic team here, and Silencer, once again, fits into their draft really, really well. Those mid-game team fights are going to go to them guaranteed. And I mean, if a Global Silence comes out anytime before Epicenter has started channeling or Ice Blast goes out, this team fight is pretty much won by Winner's Ring here. So I really, really like their draft, and I think they've got a lot of potential. We'll have to see as we get into this game how it plays out, but that's why we watch a game and not just a draft. I'm stoked about it, and we'll see in just a moment here. Alrighty. Remember to change my overlays this time. Doing good. Alright, so we do have a minute one pause here. Looks like we got a disconnect from Stan King. Needs to switch computers. Oh, that's not a good sign. Alright, we'll see. We'll see. But while he's doing that, let's introduce our lineups here. We got Sharby Jacob going to be playing the Luna. Madcoat going to be on the Silencer. Lempika going to be on the Naga Siren. Nayadaya Adaka. I don't know if that's how you spell it, but of course, suitably so, playing the Shadow Shaman. TSXSTOO. It's going to be playing the Bristleback. I hate your name, buddy. Change it, please. Down on the bottom, going to be playing for Team Stan and Pals. We got CBX on that Nick Sasson, probably going to be heading towards that offlane. Kree going to be playing on the Lifestealer. Kunkka Monster going to be playing on that Ancient Apparition. Sheepy on the Viper. And Stan King is going to be picking up that Sand King when he gets back into the game. Stan King, Sand King. It's two names that kind of correspond with the hero they're playing. I like it. Alright. What's there to talk about here? What's there to talk about? Talk about some Silencer cosmetics. Oh, those were lame. Lame. Bristleback cosmetics. Just got spiky shit. Reconnect already. That's not bad. Probably had another computer on hand. Good. Good! Stan King's reconnected. Hopefully we'll be underway in just a moment here. Stoked! Ready! Calls with the great enthusiasm. That's kind of cool. Down the bottom here, your box shows through the HUD. Huh. Alright, so, is Nick's going mid? No, he's going offlane. Alrighty. So, we do have a tri-lane. It's going to be on the safe lane with the Ancient Apparition, the Sand King, and the Lifestealer. I don't hate this at all. Like I said, I thought they could win an aggressive tri-lane, but, they really don't need to. They can farm pretty darn well. And I think between the three of these heroes, they'll have the potential for ganking and killing as the game goes on. Now, it is going to be an aggressive lane. I don't like aggressive lanes with Luna, which is why I usually don't call it when it looks like it's going to happen, because Luna's just really squishy, and especially with a team like this that has a lot of kind of, you know, bursty control with, you know, the Burrow Strike and the Cold Feet and Open Wounds and stuff, I think they'd have the potential to drop a Luna much faster than the Naga and the Shadow Shaman could do it to them. But, you know, that remains yet to be seen. Now, the aggressive Tri-Lane has been spotted out by Standard Palace, so they have the potential to switch this up if they want. Ancient Apparition reveals that he's down here. Maybe not the best call. Luna is going to regen that health before, or Naga's going to regen that health before anything significant happens, and you basically just gave away that your lane is down there. So, either way, it's going to be a Tri-Lane on Tri-Lane scenario, and we're, you know, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because it's like I said, I think Luna's really squishy, and she can get blown up really hard in this lane, but there is a lot of control on the other side. If you get the shackles down with the hex, and you get a net, etc., you can cause some havoc. So I think it really will be on execution. Now, Ward dropped out here. Sentry instantly placed down, and they're gonna have to fight to deward this because, yeah, actually, did they bring sentries? No sentries were brought. They placed another ward a little further up, and I think Sand King even saw that one placed, so he could go deward that as well if he wanted. Still pinging. Not sure what they're pinging about. They're going to get rid of that ward? I'd really like to see them get rid of that ward. I think they saw it. I don't know. Either way, Lifestealer grabs all 4 creeps in the first wave, so doing pretty well. He's going to run up and throw some harassing attacks onto that Luna. Something that shouldn't quite be happening just yet, but... oh man, now they're going for it. We're going to see a Burrow Strike. They're looking for it. Burrow Strike happens up on the Naga Siren, chasing her down. The shackles go out on the Sand King, but I don't know if it's going to matter. 1 auto attack, 2 auto attacks, and a Kree on the Lifestealer picks up first blood onto that Naga Siren. So like I said, I don't think this is the best aggressive Tri-Lane. Now, the level 1 on the level 1/2 on the side of Standard Palace was a lot better than the level 1 on Winter's Ring side. However, it does pose the problem. There's a lot of squishy heroes on Winter's Ring. The Viper is winning this lane pretty darn well. The Silencer should be alright in a couple levels, but I think this was a really cool counter pick because before level 6, Viper cannot cast any spells. So if he gets hit by that Curse of the Silent, he's going to take full damage and mana burn from it. There's nothing he can do to break it. And, I mean, we see this here. Curse of the Silent goes out, and it plays back against Silencer because every single time Curse of the Silent ticks, Corrosive Skin ticks back on him. But at the same time, I think when he starts leveling up, he's going to have a lot more damage, and the Corrosive Skin will turn back towards him. And I mean, last word goes out. He can't break that either. After a couple seconds, boom, disarm damage. So Silencer should be in control of this, but it's really going to matter on how they play it out. Now, we had an engagement down in the bottom lane, chasing out that Shadow Shaman, and he will fall to the very last tick of a Cold Feet. Now going in on that Luna, she's trying to run herself away, but she's slowed up quite a bit, and with another auto attack, the Lifestealer will pick up that kill. So like I said, I think this Tri-Lane is victorious for Standard Palace. I mean, I'm not sure what they were thinking going aggressive, but they've already given 2 kills to a Lifestealer pre-3 minutes, and he's still within the top 3 of CS amidst all this fighting. So this is going to spell trouble, and I think we should be looking at a quick lane rotation here. They should just put Bristle back down to the bottom lane. He does already against Lifestealer, and even if he dies once or twice, at least your Luna's getting some farm. She's only got 4 last hits right now. Has died and back to lane because she doesn't have TP scrolls. Actually, she did have TPs, but I guess chose to walk anyways. But yeah, Luna not in the best of positions right now. 3-0 is the score in favor of Standard Palace. Up top, Viper is going to bottle up and finds himself a haste rune. So this could spell trouble for Silencer, especially if Viper just decides he wants to go. And I don't know, we'll see if he does charge forward with it. Lifestealer gets himself a little bit too far up, but only takes a couple auto attacks and harass and walks away from it. Sand King going to farm up, stacked up hard camp with that Sandstorm. Grab himself a Wildkin and some Centaur. Well, look at this. 3 heroes on 1, and they finally do decide to turn it around on him, and he rages up and tries to run away, dishing out a fair amount of damage, but I mean, with those phase boots up early, he can afford to really do anything he wants. His supports are just off farming up the jungle, and he's like scaring off 3 heroes, and they finally did wise up that the supports weren't around and turned around and fought him, but even then, they can't really go on him. Back in mid lane, the Viper is going to find himself yet another rune. He'll pop off that haste in just a moment, or he'll just pop off the illusion and send that to mid. Either way, this Silencer So run a little bit lower on bottle charges and might end up in some trouble if this Viper decides to pop off that haste and just chase him down. It looks like Viper was tempted to go for it. Not quite yet. Creeps pushing in on this bottom tier 1. Just going to chip out a little bit of the damage there, but not going to mean too much there. And Luna will try to clean this up underneath her tower.
You almost.
She did pretty well there getting those last hits, so she's doing alright now. She's 15-2. Well, they're still ahead of her at 22-3, and the supports are not even in lane. They're just getting themselves whatever gold they can acquire in the jungle, and this is going to feed them really, really well heading into the late game. Up on top, this engagement is going to be it's going to be a little interesting because the Bristleback doesn't have any mana, but he definitely has the ability to man fight a lot better than the Nyx, even with 0 mana. So I think it's going to be a pretty stagnant lane for a while, as neither hero is going to be able to kill each other. But the second they go back, pick up some items, and level up a few times, they're going to have a lot more room to make the fights happen. The Nyx, oh what? There goes that haste rune I was talking about. The second that Viper hit 6, he just ran forward and charge down that silencer. And there's not a lot Silencer can do in that situation because a lot of his damage is just kind of poke and move back, poke, move back. But yeah, he did drop when that hasted Viper came in for him. Now, once again, interesting stat up here. The Nyx Assassin is actually tied for top CS on the board right now. And, I mean, the only person ahead of him is the Viper, who's obviously mid and Viper, so he's doing really, really well. Lifestealer is sitting just a couple creeps behind them at 29-4, and then the next two are Dire Side. So Winter's Ring looking a little bit poor on farm, and of course those early kills are going to do even more to help out Standard Pals. But I feel that Winter's Ring can just hold it on and make those mid-game team fights that I was talking about happen. They're going to have a lot better chances. Now, a net goes out on the Lifestealer within tower range. They're going to dish out whatever damage they can. He pops off the open wounds and runs away, and he'll be fine for now. But he's in pretty much a solo lane now, and I mean, his supports have just been jungling this entire time, and he is completely fine with this. I mean, he's 2v1ing, and then whenever there's 3, he just kind of runs away from it. I mean, there's not much they can do to touch him. And even with the net hitting, it doesn't last long enough that they can actually get up there and do anything significant before he just gets out of it and walks away. Looks like Bristleback's making his way towards a Vanguard, and he's about 400 gold off of that, so we'll have that in a moment, which will be a big, a fantastic pickup for him. A Sentry Ward get dropped down here. I think they're looking for aggressive lane wards somewhere up in here, but not going to find any. And, yeah. I guess that Nyx is probably pretty close to 6. Oh, yeah, he's 7 right now, so the potential for a Nyx gank is always there, so having that Sentry Ward will help a bunch. Sand King, oh man, he's gonna have a 10-minute blink dagger. Look at this. Sandstorming up these creep camps, and he's got 1900 gold already, soon to have more. And just because of how their lane played out in those early kills, Lifestealer is free to do as he pleases, and that gives Sand King room to move around. And you know, generally you see supports ganking for mid and whatnot, but their mid is winning so effectively. Now, Rage is going to get popped off, and Lifestealer's just going to go for this. When he realizes he can't, he just infests, and he's going to walk away from this. I mean, he might take a little bit more damage on his way out. No, he just walks away. I mean, that's the power of him. And the AA comes back in, realizes he's in a little bit of a trouble, and he's just going to stick around and help him harass out. Oh my god. Viper jumping on the silencer, gets another kill there, and like I said, mid's doing so well that there's nowhere really to gank for the Sand King and the AA, so they're just gonna head off and do their own thing. Now Sand King buys a blink dagger, so 8.5 minute blink dagger, and oh, now looking for that Luna. She's gonna TP herself out, but I mean, recognizing that she was there, forcing that TP. That's whoa, she just TP'd back to her tier 1. I see. So she might have just double clicked that and went back to base for no reason. Yeah. Anyways, 5-0 is your kill score here. 9 minutes and 0 seconds is your game time, and Winter's Ring not looking so hot. I was talking a lot about their mid-game team fight potential and the fact that they had the Shadow Shaman to drop the wards and whatnot. They had the Song to engage and disengage, Eclipse, Bristleback, and the Global Silence and all that. But if they lose their laning phase this convincingly, they could be in a lot of trouble going forward. And we'll see how it plays out as we get going. But There are always potential losses to be had. And this Viper pops off a regen rune, and he's going to be back up in Silencer's face in just a moment. And Silencer going to do what he can, picks off a couple of last hits, but I mean, he's not doing too well on this level. And look how far back he's staying. He's scared to even get up and touch this creep wave, because the second he does, Viper's just going to jump on him, pop off that Viper strike, and he could be in a ton of trouble from there. Pressure coming out on the tier 1 bottom as well, and the blink in. Burrow strike up onto that Naga Siren with the open wound. She's going to fall. And Kree gets himself another kill. And looking at a 3-0-0 lifestealer on top of the CS charts at 10 minutes into the game. This is looking pretty ugly. I'm surprised he didn't go for Midas, because pushing this... actually, no, I'm not surprised he didn't go for Midas. That's a decent call. Grabbed himself an armlet already, and looking pretty. 10-minute Midas, or 10-minute Midas, 10-minute armlet on top of his phase boots, and 3 kills to his name. Lifestealer is off the charts. Now they finally rotated this Luna out, stuck her up top, and said, alright, you deal with the Nyx. I mean, this is what should have happened to begin with. I mean, this is, the Luna is the... Oh man, we got action on mid lane. Global Silence goes down. Viper Strike hits up on the Silencer, finishes him off, but we do have a TP coming in now, and as the last word pops off, Bristle's going to chase us in here. But the Sand King, Burrow strikes in, going to stall him up for just a bit, body blocking where he can. Now, the Bristle trying to run himself away. I think he's going to be able to get out of this just fine, but the Viper still stands, 3-0-0, and 60 CS to his name as well. He's just going to be incredibly powerful this game. See what he chooses to build towards the generally accepted... Yeah, he's got a buckler, so generally accepted Viper build nowadays is mech into Aghanims, and looks like that's exactly what it's going to be. Now, yeah, this is what should happen right off the bat, because, like I said, they had a lot of control in this lane between the Hex, between the Shackle, the Net from Naga, and then the Lucent Beam. But it's not enough to make a tri-lane happen, and now Epicenter's going to pop off, and a double kill goes to the Sand King as he finishes off the Luna and the Shadow Shaman. So big plays there, 9-0 is Stand-In Palace as they move forward in this game, and this is looking really, really scary for the other team. The other team, whose name I can't remember. Winner's Ring. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, man. Viper gets Silencer and Bristleback and finally falls to the last word afterwards. That is just crazy. Look at this guy. He's got so much gold. He's got a full mechanism at 12 minutes after getting Bottle, Treads, and a Wraith Band. This is absurd. And I don't know how... I don't know how WSR is going to deal with this. I mean, Winner's Ring, what are you going to do? They've got no team fight. I mean, like, they've got decent team fight, but it's not going to come online now because everybody's under-leveled. Your Luna is not even level 6 at 12 minutes. Like, that's absurd. This aggressive tri-lane really, really didn't work out, and it cost them big time. And I mean, the Silencer pick, I understand it. It worked out well, but you didn't have any control of the runes, which meant that Viper got... You know, he got a haste, which got him a kill. He got a regen, which kept him in the lane. And then he got a gank, and one thing after another, your mid lane just fell apart. And, I mean, I'd consider that those heroes trade pretty evenly. But in the situations of this game, the Viper just took off with it. And the Silencer was really left with nothing. So now we're going to see Winner's Ring try to group up and make something happen. They realize that it's not happening on their own. So they get 4 heroes in same proximity. Naga's still trying to hold off bottom, but... actually, maybe not. Alright, they're just going to dance around. Thought they were going to group up, and I think grouping up is their only real option now, because if they can take a fantastic fight with Song of the Siren, or Song of the Siren and Serpent Words or something, which neither of which they actually have right now, but if they can make something like that happen, they will have a... They'll have a decent position in this game. They can still make it happen. But, you know, it's just not happening right now. That's where we're going to pop off on the Viper, and he's going to finish off this Tier 1 tower, no question about it. There it goes. Sand King blinks forward, looking to throw some action in the bushes. Now Ice Blast going to fly in, catches on 2, and the Nyx can go right back into this if he wants. He's got a Blink Dagger off cooldown. Is he going to go for it? He's looking for that Luna, not going to find her quite yet. He does pop that Vendetta Strike off onto the Bristleback. But Bristle avoids a lot of that damage because of the Bristleback. Now we have a Blink in Burrow Strike Infest from the Lifestealer and the Sand King. Chasing down on this Bristleback. One more attack. Yeah, there it goes. Is going to finish off that Bristle. 12-1 is the kill score here. And Lifestealer picks himself up another kill. 2,700 gold in the bank. And Winner's Ring, once again, looking a little shaky. Definitely looking a little shaky. Viper going to bottle up a DD rune. Where's he going? He's not going to Roche. He's going to pick up a Ultimate Orb. Yeah, there it is. Grabs that ultimate orb, exchanges that Wraith Band for it, and now he's going to work towards that Aghanim Scepter, and I don't think it's going to come too far off, as he's farming up really, really well. I mean, he's got one of the 4 components and half the gold for the second, so he's doing himself alright. A down on the bottom lane, just farming up a little bit to see if he can get himself some extra XP, some extra gold. Sand King, such an early Blink Dagger, man. 205, and now just looking for action with this Nyx. Both of them have Blink Daggers, so they can both be anywhere they want, and Vendetta is going to wear off, but nothing's spotting them out quite yet. They're aware of where the enemy is, and we do have an Epicenter getting channeled off. They're going to go in on this. Double damage popped off by the Viper. Viper Strike out on the Bristleback. The Shadow Shaman and the Silencer are going to fall off right off the bat, turning around and finishing off the Bristleback. Now chasing in for this Naga Siren, and she is... Yeah, she's doomed. There we go. The Burrow Strike hits her up, and actually the Sand King gets the kill with the Sandstorm. Do. And 16-1. I wouldn't say it's too far-fetched to say that GG's coming in here. Actually, there it goes. Right there. GG's called at 15 minutes and 45 seconds. I do not think I've ever seen a stomp this bad. I mean, there's been some bad ones. There's been some 20-minute ones, some 18-minute ones. I have never seen a 15-minute GG. And Standard Pals just taking every single opportunity to show their superiority and just really smash this down and hammer it home. So right now, as far as I am concerned, Standard Pals is into the top 16, which will put them into the semifinals tomorrow, and then maybe, potentially, onto the finals on Sunday. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. I believe if everything went... yeah. I think if they won this game, there is no way that they're not making top 16. So Standard Pals and P252 are going to be the 2 teams moving on from Group 1 towards the finals brackets, and those will be up on Tactichive.com after this match. But for now, this was a pretty awesome game. So heading forward, we're going to have we're going to have the round of 16, the round of 8 tomorrow. And then the semifinals and finals are going to be on Sunday. So check those out. Those will all be covered on my channel here at Cptn.Canuck Dota. So if you're watching on Twitch, just throw me a follow down below, and you will be up to date with all of the Tactic Hive and Amateur Dota 2 League news. You can also find me on YouTube at Cptn.Canuck Dota and Twitter at Cptn.Canuck Dota. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a pleasure, and this has been the Tactic Hive Beta Cup.